Arsenal's got a 20-goal a season striker. That is not what guarantees you win the league.
Yeah, but they don't have a 15 clean sheet defense.
Oh, so now we need that.
You did. Because look, they scored 2 today, but did they win? No, they drew 2-2, and that's not good enough. That won't win you the league.
Listen, to finish above Manchester
10 games and 2 clean sheets, it's not acceptable.
To finish above Manchester City, your attack needs to be sick. Your defense needs to be probably even sicker.
This is the Neeks Sports Podcast. It's our first podcast, and it's going to be a weekly debate on all platforms: YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and any other one that our producer here, Javern, can figure out is the best place for you lot to hear our views on football, cricket, anyone, Formula One, athletics, boxing, and all the sports that we know and love here in this country. Today I'm joined by Ramon, Kyle, and Javern. We've got a lot to discuss. And obviously, as you know, the topics I want to talk about obviously today, Premier League title race. We're 10 games in. I would say just over a quarter of the season gone. So I think we can kind of get a gauge about where the title could end up or who's in the race anyway. England national team. There's a lot of talk about what Gareth Southgate's doing for England and the sale or not sale of Wembley and the money that could be left for grassroots football. And obviously the players available to Gareth Southgate, those specifically playing abroad. And finally, we are recording this on a Sunday, so as we speak, Lewis Hamilton is on course to win his 5th Drivers' Championship. And the question we're asking, where does Hamilton rank among the all-time greats? But we'll get there. I know, Kyle, you're itching to talk about it, but we'll get there. But first, before we start, actually, I just want to pay the respects to all the people that's involved in a few of the tragedies that we've had over the weekend. Glenn Hoddle being rushed to hospital for a heart attack. We had an elderly Brighton fan who died at the ground on Saturday. And of course, the crash of the helicopter outside the Leicester City stadium. So we just hope that all involved and families, etc., we pray for them, keep them in our thoughts. But Premier League title race, it's been a decent weekend so far. Obviously the Man City Tottenham game is the Monday night kickoff, but we've had some good games. Arsenal, they won. Arsenal drew. Arsenal drew. Sorry, I've been so used to Arsenal winning. It slipped me. Sorry. Don't get excited. You got drew. Man United won and Liverpool won. So really, let's talk about the title race. Who are the favourites at this stage?
Manchester City, without a shadow of a doubt.
Liverpool are top.
No, Liverpool are top for now until Monday night. I think there are 2-3-0 winners for Manchester City. Personally, I see it. But it's only between City and Liverpool. Wait. Only the title race is between 2 teams.
How can you say that?
What do you mean how?
Chelsea haven't lost a game this season.
No, they haven't.
Your beloved Chelsea.
No, they haven't.
But Arsenal.
But they haven't played any of the big boys.
But they played Arsenal.
No, Arsenal's not a big boy.
They played. Wait, which one? They played Arsenal, Liverpool.
No, they played Arsenal and Man United.
No, they played Liverpool. They drew 1-1. Daniel Sturridge scored in the last minute. Remember, they
enough.
beat them in the cup, and then they drew at Stamford Bridge last minute. You can't discount Chelsea.
I can.
No,
and I will. I can and I will.
Nah.
I can and I will.
This is Chelsea's, for me. It's their on season. Chelsea have a pattern of on off and Hazard.
But the fact that everyone that would say Chelsea have a chance say that it relies on Hazard. If Chelsea are to win the title, it relies on Hazard having an outstanding season, which he is doing at the moment. But Liverpool and Manchester City don't rely on one player. Their team is good enough. And if you're relying on one person...
Well, you're saying the team are good enough. Liverpool won the title in 28 years. So
no, they haven't. But this team is good enough. This team isn't the team 21 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Or last season.
All last season.
Wait, what? Because who did they bought this summer?
Shaqiri, Keita,
Alisson
for me. Obviously, they had Van Dijk in January, so that's a bit mid-season. But Alisson for me is probably the major difference, and obviously the addition of Van Dijk.
Yeah.
But
Origi
And look at
come
and look at the differences made. Out of 10 games, what have they got? 6 or 7 clean sheets.
I'm not saying it hasn't made a difference, but I'm saying Chelsea's made a difference. I mean, Chelsea's changed the team. They've got Jorginho, they got Kovacic, Barkley's a new man. It looks like. They might say a new signing, isn't it?
And then they got Morata up front,
and they got Kepa the keeper, isn't it?
who is no Courtois.
Listen, Chelsea are in the title race as we speak. As we speak.
Statistically,
Just in general, as we speak, they're up there. 10 games gone. They were thereabouts for obviously Man City playing Spurs, but Chelsea are in the title race as we speak. Now,
Hazard didn't play today.
Hazard didn't play today.
And they won 4-0.
Yeah. Listen, no doubt about it. Chelsea in the title race as we speak. But when we talk about title race, we talk about 30 games of a season.
Yeah.
When we look back, right? We look back. Say last year he was in the title race. No one. It was a one man. It was a one man season.
team.
There was no title race last season. It was a Man City thumping. If Man United ever just told me they were in the title race last year, then they know what they're talking about. So last year was a one man race.
We were in it for about 5 games or so.
So this year we'll look at it as a 38 game season. Who are title contenders this year? Liverpool and Manchester City. For me, in my humble opinion, are the only title contenders this season. Let me pay more respect to Chelsea because right now they're doing the thing.
exactly. Right now they're doing the thing.
I didn't expect them either.
Remember we
made our predictions.
Yeah, we made our predictions.
Yeah.
I said they'll finish 5th.
I think they're going to blow up.
I think they'll finish 5th. But you know what? They could finish 5th. Spurs are only 3 points behind Chelsea, and if they beat Man City on Monday, then they'll go on same goal difference.
And Chelsea will be above Man City.
Yeah.
So then what?
But what I'm saying is that Tottenham are only 3 points behind Chelsea. Tottenham are 5th. So realistically, Chelsea could be two defeats away from 5th as we speak. So
listen, 2 wins away from 4.
But listen, we could have a 5-all title race for we know. We don't know what's going to happen in the season. But in my humble opinion, it's a 2-horse race to the end of the season. And the other reason why, Chelsea don't have a 20-goal striker in their team.
Wait, they got a 20-goal player. How many?
They don't.
They have to.
Do they know? That's the
They
thing.
don't.
Do
They don't.
they know?
Hazard is the
But he's never done it
It's Hazard
Wait. You can't say he's a 20-goal player when he's never done it before.
I can't.
Exactly.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's like saying Kane is a 25-goal plus league goal scorer because he's done it 3 years in a row. So you can say that. That's a fact. He's a 25-goal plus striker.
I'm not saying
Hazard is not a 20-goal player.
I'm not saying what I'm saying.
Hazard's not a 20-goal player.
I'm saying what I'm saying as an opinion. I.e., I think he's good enough to get 20 goals. The same way Harry Kane is good enough to get 25 goals. It doesn't mean he's going to get every season.
But I said Chelsea do not have a 20-goal striker.
I know what you said.
But they don't. They have someone who has the potential to get it, but they don't have a guaranteed 20 Premier League goal.
Yeah, but okay, but
player.
so are you saying that you only make your predictions based on the facts? You don't have like a feeling about
Yeah, 100%. My feeling is that Chelsea ain't going to be there.
Arsenal's got a 20-goal a season striker. That is not what guarantees you win the league.
Yeah, but they don't have a 15 clean sheet defense.
Oh, so now we need that.
You did.
Because look, they scored 2 today, but did they win? No, they drew 2-2, and that's not good enough. That won't win you the league.
Listen, to finish above
10 games and 2 clean sheets, it's not acceptable.
To finish above Manchester City, your attack needs to be sick. Your defense needs to be probably even sicker.
It needs to be
and your
impeccable.
midfield needs to be making sure
impeccable.
that your midfield needs to just be piecing everything together and barely have mistakes in them, because Man City barely have mistakes in them. You have to finish above Man City to win the Premier League. Now,
I mean, you have to finish above most teams.
City.
Are you saying that if you finish above Man City, you're going to win the Premier League? I.e., Man City are not going to finish as
that's what I think. That's what I think.
That's fair enough.
And the only team that can do that, even though I don't even think they will, but let's say they'll be title contenders, is Liverpool. But they might even be title. It might be a one-horse race again.
I think Liverpool win the title. Liverpool win the title.
Why?
Because over the years, since Klopp has come, they've gotten better. And they've got the few pieces that they need to be better and to actually challenge and possibly win it. It'll be tight because Man City, I don't think are going to drop off. But they are, I think, if they can pipe it, they will definitely win the title. Because I'll tell you why. There was a season when Mourinho just come Chelsea, we had signed a few players, we didn't have the striker, and that season we missed out the title. And then the season after, we bought Fabregas and
Diego Costa, yeah.
Costa. And that was it. We won the title. Liverpool has been doing that bit by bit. And now I feel like some of the games that they've drawn or just won, they've won, maybe not convincingly, but much better than what they would have done last season. They were struggling.
At the moment.
At the moment, but still, the teams that they play, generally that they've won against, normally they'll struggle. But they have now gone over that and won, and that's what I feel will get them the title.
All right, but what I would say, if we're gonna go on, let's say, past performances, judging that on who's title contenders or not, Liverpool, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've only got one, and I might even be wrong. They only got one Premier League win in their squad, which is James Milner, and I'm not 100% sure if he was there when Man City won the title.
Yeah, he's won the Premier League.
He won the Premier League, Man City.
Yeah.
They've got one Premier League winner in their team. Chelsea.
Sturridge on the I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, he won the Champions League. He won
Champions League, 2012, yeah. But Chelsea, the whole squad, barring some of the new players, Jorginho, Giroud, of course, he didn't win anything at Arsenal. As you would.
Well, he didn't win the Premier League at Arsenal.
As you would know.
He didn't win the Premier League at Arsenal.
But even Morata's won league title over in, obviously, that was in Serie A. With Juve. But Chelsea have Premier League winners in their team. Azpilicueta, for one. David Luiz, of course, under Conte. Kante, 2 years in a row from Leicester into Chelsea. Hazard himself, PFA Player of the Year. Two of the last 3 winners of the PFA Player of the Year are in that Chelsea team. Sorry, that's 2 of the last 4. Sorry, 2 of the last 4. Because Mahrez won it in between that. But if anything, other than Man City, whose whole squad, including obviously the sign of Mahrez, have won the Premier League, they've got the team with the most experience about taking it over the line. Yeah. So surely, even without the 20-goal a season striker, with Hazard, who many claim to be, that's not correct, some claim to be top 3 in the world. Sarri said he can possibly be the best in the world. Surely, with a player like him, you can win the Premier League. Take Manchester United, for example, in 2007. I haven't got the stats in front of me. At that point, we didn't have a 20-goal season striker. Saha, I don't think he had banged 20 goals at the time. Rooney definitely hadn't scored 20 goals at the time. But we had Ronaldo, who was that kind of player. He didn't even bang 20 that season. I think he banged 19. We had Tevez. Tevez came, I think, season after, actually. But we had a number of players who could contribute to the goals without there being like a focal point.
Chelsea don't.
Well, they've got Hazard.
Yeah.
They've got Pedro.
Nonsense.
What do you mean nonsense? The man's
Pedro.
When was the last time he scored?
Number 2 choice, he went to Pedro because you didn't know what to say. You're thinking of
Nonsense.
Pedro will contribute what?
5. That's what I'm saying. 5.
Between 5.
Like Ramsey. You might as well say Ramsey. Arsenal's title winning
challenge. But then you've got the likes of, who obviously scored. He scored 2 today, 1 today. Barkley. You've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You've got Willian. But I'm saying that they've got players there without a number. You
haven't even named their strikers yet. Say Giroud and Marat.
They will probably get about 5 between them. But I'm saying it. They've got players. You got Alonso. You got defenders who contribute.
Are you hearing how ridiculous this sounds?
No.
And you're telling me that they have a chance to win the title.
But wait, Firmino scored 2 goals all season.
Wait, you said Ruben's Loftus-Cheek.
I'm saying.
They can't be taken
one little hat in Europe League
seriously.
Mate Borisov.
They can't be taken seriously.
Kyle, why not?
Huh?
Wait, hold on. Let me
say.
Oh, go on. Let me ask a question. Javan, are Chelsea title contenders? Because I just see you start defending them about Loftus-Cheek, and now I want to put it back on you. Are Chelsea title contenders?
Sitting on the fence, sitting on the table.
Oh, God. Chelsea
10 games in 8 lost.
Can challenge for the title, but I do not think we will win it.
I agree.
We will not win it. One, I have to question Sarri. That Man United game. The defending, once again, shown up. He does no plan B, for one. I don't see one. 2, the defence, we can't get anywhere. With David Luiz at the hard defense, there is no title challenge. There's no. We're not winning a trophy.
He's been a heart of a title challenge and a win it.
He
And win
got
it before.
covered.
To be fair,
No,
they have
no.
the second most clean sheets in the league.
But that doesn't mean. Oh, I'm sorry. With David Luiz in that defense, we will not win the title. We won't. Those 2 goals that Man United scored were
Wait, 2? Wasn't it 1-1?
2-2.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. It's just we can't challenge for that.
Man United are a decent team.
They're not.
Wait, what did you say?
We'll
You
contend.
can't challenge.
We will contend, but we will not win. We will not win it. We won't. So, and everyone that wants to say that Chelsea are contenders, they can very well go and win this title. No. If you're gonna say that, then let's look at the top 4. So far, in the top 4, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City,
Arsenal.
and Arsenal. If you look at the goals that each one of them has scored, it's all between 26 and 24.
Yeah.
So, if you want to say that Chelsea are title contenders, you might as well say Arsenal are title contenders.
The way I disagree, Arsenal have played 2 big teams this season, and they've lost both the games. The Chelsea game, I wouldn't say,
But to
convincingly.
their defense, it was a very new manager, new system. Straight off the bat.
I heard that, but we can only judge it on the 10 games that's been played, and the 2 of them, granted, they were the first games, were against what they would say is their title rivals if they're in a race, and they lost both of them. One of them being at home, comprehensively beaten by Man City, but that can happen. And then the next 8 games were against, or 3 of them were against relegated teams. I don't know if the other 3 were against promoted teams, and teams who are in and around, you say, the relegation zone. Not all of them, but some of them. I know they played Everton in that period, but. So if I'm judging on those, you say, okay, Arsenal are better than XYZ, but when it comes to the crunch, they will fail. So I'm expecting the Liverpool game, for example. I expect Liverpool to go to Arsenal and get a win. At a minimum, draw. But I'm expecting them to actually get a win.
I'm expecting them to beat them as
And it's
well.
because of those results where I'm expecting Liverpool to go there and win.
Yeah.
Where Liverpool go to Chelsea, and it takes a last-minute wonder goal from Daniel Sturridge for them to get a draw out of the game. Arsenal, I'm expecting them to put the same fight. Additionally, is that Arsenal out of the top 4 are the only teams to have lost games. Liverpool ain't lost a game. Chelsea ain't lost a game. Man City ain't lost a game. Yeah, of course, everything's yet, isn't it? It might be 37 games, and we're still going to say yeah until that loss comes. So at the moment, the top 3 are in a bracket of their own, unbeaten, beaten. Spurs, they lost to
Liverpool, yeah.
And they're probably going to lose on Monday as well. So that 3 at the moment are in a little bracket of their own, unbeaten, beaten or not lost to their rivals. And then the rest are like, can beat some teams, will lose to others.
Watford beat Spurs as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So I'm not...
Man City lose tomorrow. Not joking. They
Let me put something there now. So, you say Arsenal's lost to 2 of the bigger teams. Now, you would say that the league is won not by you beating the top 6,
No, it is.
by
Definitely
you
is.
beating. Wait, hold on. By you beating the others, because let's say the top 6, let's say everyone in the top 6 beats all the small teams. Then how do you win?
beat each other.
You beat each other. So let's say, for instance, say you.
I know what you're saying.
Oh, okay,
I know what you're saying.
But those games are important.
Of course they are.
As well as the small.
There's more small teams than there are big teams in the league, so you have to. But but in an ideal world, yes, you beat all the small teams. If you beat, let's say there's 6 big teams, you win 26 games in the season, you're gonna win the title because all you need is maybe draw 6 of your home games against the big 6. But that's providing you do that. Yeah. In an ideal world, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But in reality, that's not going to happen because today, Arsenal drew with Crystal Palace, for example.
Chelsea have drawn with...
No, but so I'm saying...
we've drawn
so I'm saying so therefore, because it's nearly impossible to win all those games, you have to pick up points off your rivals. And so far, Arsenal have not proved that they are able to do that. I'm sure they will at some point.
Listen,
but last season, I'm sure their record was terrible against the top 6.
Yeah, it was, and it's partly that, and it's also partly because they didn't beat the small teams as well. They haven't been able to do that, and the fact that, as you said, they won't beat all the small teams. They didn't beat Crystal Palace today, and then going throughout the season, there'll be other. Put like this: there was more chance Arsenal will drop points against the smaller teams than say Liverpool and Man City and Chelsea.
Of them dropping points against smaller teams. compared as in Arsenal against small teams
So I reckon Arsenal will drop more points against small teams than they will.
Yeah.
Because
so therefore you have to make the catch out.
Exactly. So if Arsenal are gonna be title contenders and push for the title, they have to now then go and beat the Man City's, Chelsea's, and Liverpool's. And Arsenal's next big test obviously will come against Liverpool, and we'll have to see then where Arsenal are. As you said, new manager, new system. So let's see them now after 10 games in how they fare against Liverpool. If Liverpool do smash them, I don't want to hear anything from Javan about Arsenal being title contenders at all. That should wipe the slate clean. That should wipe the slate clean.
No, the reason it shouldn't because
why not?
because everyone is saying that Chelsea is title contenders because we've gone unbeaten in however, whatever. But if Arsenal have lost 2 and they're playing well, football is won in moments. Not like no one plays good for a whole 90 minutes. No one. There's moments. And for instance, like against Everton, they took their chances and they won. And they say today Crystal Palace played. You can say they played better than Arsenal. Obviously, their quality lacked them. Same with Man United today. Bernard could have easily put one part. That's where you can get away from this because the lesser quality teams won't put things away, and then you can just get that moment of magic. And you cannot sleep on Lacazette. You can't sleep on Aubameyang for sure. What I've seen Arsenal on their break is amazing. It's like 1-2.
Have you seen them defensively? Defensively?
Chelsea
and they're playing teams, and they're playing against teams that have just been promoted. They played Fulham, and it was 4-2. Fulham had just come up, and they conceded 2 to Fulham. They conceded 2 to Crystal Palace. 10 games and 2 clean sheets.
Cardiff, you lot conceded 2 as well.
Every team concedes chances.
Yes, they concede chances, but they concede clear-cut chances. It's diabolical. Have you seen their defenders? I've said it almost every week in my weekly previews.
Arsenal have conceded more goals this season. So far, 10 games gone, then Bournemouth, then Watford, then Wolves, for example, right? Teams like that. Now, if you're looking at just on those random facts that I pulled out of the air, just on that alone, yeah, that tells me already that, and the fact that if you watch how Arsenal play already, the majority of the time, and especially in the first half, Arsenal are not playing well at all, and usually conceding the goal. And it tells me, for me, if Arsenal win the Premier League or even challenge for the Premier League this season, there's got to be a huge turnaround in that. And I can't see that all happening within one season.
No, okay. So what are you saying? That they can't challenge or they can't win?
Both. I'm saying they can't challenge and they can't win. And for me, I'm not even bothered because I'm not even expecting to challenge or win.
Let me tell you why.
You should.
If you cast back to last season, right, this was exactly the same case with Liverpool. Most amazing attack. Mohamed Salah on fire. And everyone's like, oh, at the start they can challenge for the title, but the defense was last season their defense was so bad. It's exactly what you were seeing of Arsenal right now. And where did they finish? Behind Man United. Man United finished second, but everyone.
They had Mignolet and Karius and
Man United finished second last season, right? But everyone would still say that but Liverpool are a better team than Man United, but they finished further behind Man United. Yeah, they finished 4th, but they were defensively shambolic. It's the same with Arsenal. It's only going to get having a good attack is only going to get you so far. You need to have a solid defense, and they're defensively horrendous.
Man City have a brilliant attack. Liverpool have a brilliant attack. Man City Liverpool's attack at least Man City Liverpool's attack are better than Arsenal's. Anyway,
and defensively
they're much better. Yeah, and then Chelsea, I'd probably say. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And maybe Arsenal's attack's maybe better than Chelsea's, but then I don't know because it's hard.
I just want to say, obviously, we've spoken about the current top 4. Yeah, but we've kind of just skirted over the biggest club in the land.
What, Tottenham? Yeah, we have to talk about Tottenham.
Manchester United, obviously. Man United. Wait, who?
My retinas don't look that far down the table, bro.
Man United got a win today, innit? And it was an important win. Everton went above them in the table. But it's
not. It's important.
Beating your rivals is important.
It's important. That Europa League not come easy enough.
But in all honesty, it was an important win because obviously we lost to Juve midweek, which is not anyone can lose to Juve. They're very
but it was in the manner.
But the man of the defeat, and we didn't. We never looked like we were ever going to get back in the game, even though we didn't have chances. The pressure we applied wasn't really significant. And then before that, we lost to lost the points in the last minute to Chelsea. So it was a bit disappointing there.
That was a huge.
It was. Because we were so close to winning, more than anything. It was a good result when you look at the grand scheme of things, but we're so close. So it was an important 3 points today. Jose dropped Lukaku, as I called for vehemently in my review of that game. I was surprised that he did, because especially in the press conference, he was like, kind of like, who do I like? I'm playing Lukaku because Sanchez is injured or something like that. If I play Rashford through the middle, then who do I play on the wing because Sanchez is injured? But today he dropped him, Lukaku. Rashford went through the middle. I don't know if you watched the game, but where are we expecting Manchester United to finish? With or without Jose?
Before you say that, yeah, we just remember this conversation is about title contenders. Yeah, this is the topic of the conversation. Title contenders. Let's just talk about that aspect of our Manchester United title contenders. What do we think? 5 points off Spurs.
Well, you're not talking about that.
This is the context of title contenders. You can't just say when you think Man United's going to finish. You asked me what Arsenal's going to finish. You said Arsenal's going to finish.
There is no answer, because we always mentioned Arsenal and everyone said they're not title contenders. But then we still went into a bigger discussion about.
So let's gain our views, innit? Let's gain our views. What do we think?
Do we think Man United are title contenders?
No.
And did we think at the beginning they would be?
No.
And where do we think? Do we think they are now?
I predicted Manchester United to finish third behind Liverpool and Man City. Did I expect them to be title contenders? No. But I didn't expect them to be too far off Liverpool. And I expected Liverpool to be title contenders. So in that regard, I would put them close. I would expect them to be closer than they were last year. That's what I'd say. But maybe that's not title contenders.
But that's it. You could say last season Man City actually blitzed it.
Yeah, they were title contenders. Yeah,
being a bit closer, that doesn't necessarily make them title contenders. And then for me, I didn't think we'd be title contenders. I didn't think we'd win the title. But I said we're going to finish second. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a valiant second. We'll push them close. It's just that
so do you
we
think,
just happened to finish.
When you say second, do you think
like last season?
But do you think they would have been title contenders?
No, like last season,
so
where we just finished second because we were better than everyone else. Or I say better, we got more points than everyone else. But we were never really close to that, because I just expect Man City to just blitz it again. But obviously, it's we're a long way from that at the moment.
Definitely.
What are you thinking? Man United title contenders?
No, not a chance.
Late
bro,
push.
Man. No, it's we're 10 games in, and no man, they're not close enough. Nowhere near close enough.
Well, we're only 9 points behind the top. Three wins, isn't it?
Christmas.
I'll let you know what I'll probably think after they play Arsenal. It might be too late by then, but yeah. But no, I don't think they are.
They're not out. They're not out of the top 4 race.
To be fair, like I said, I only think Liverpool's gonna challenge Manchester City, and it might be the case that they finish about 8 or 9 points off come the end of the season. But I think they'll push them the closest. And I think the main reason why I think Manchester City would win is just simply their depth and strength is phenomenal. Like Liverpool, like as we saw after an international break, 1-2 players are not available. It was Firmino, Mane, didn't start on the return from international break. Who did they play? Huddersfield. And it was 1-0. They actually struggled that game.
Yeah,
they struggled that game, and that was about 2-3 players. It was Mane, Firmino, maybe one other in midfield, and they struggled in that game. And it just goes to show if they pick up an injury during the course of the season, like the players that they got, like Shaqiri, etc.
It's funny though, because
it's not good enough. Because remember, Man City been playing this whole time without Kevin De Bruyne, and he's back now. I mean. Like, and he's back, and it's like they got Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Sterling, Mahrez, Aguero, Jesus, and Jesus haven't been playing that much. Like it's actually Gundogan. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Like it's ridiculous.
It's a rejuvenated Man
You can't
City,
beat that team, man.
More than they were last
you can't stop.
I would say
you can't stop.
Obviously, Liverpool ain't played Man City yet, innit? So it's like
No, they have. It was 1-1.
Mahrez.
No, sorry, nil.
What I'm gonna say is that you can't even focus on what Man City is doing, because if you get caught in that, you can't use your own way. You kind of have to just run your own race, as they say. You just all right. We're playing Huddersfield. We need to beat Huddersfield. We're playing Cardiff, because Man City is going to do their thing. And then when it comes to those games, you need to take a point off them. Obviously, they've taken. I say taken. They were at home. And if you're going to win the title, you probably need to beat Man City at home, or at least win.
No, you definitely need to win at home.
One or the other thing. If you don't beat them at home, you need to beat them away. I don't think you can just draw.
Man City. What, to win the title?
Yeah.
Because Man City, you have to kind of expect Man City are going to win the same amount of games that you're going to beat the little team because of how good their team is. So you kind of have to take a point off them.
If you lose the title by 4 points, but the 2 games that you lost were to Man, you lost home and away to Manchester City, right? You, like Javon was saying earlier, if you beat all the small teams, you can win the title. But you can't turn around and say, "Oh, if we had beat Huddersfield and if we had beaten Watford, we would have won the title," because those are games that we lost and we drew, and if we would win. But no, if you had just beat Manchester City once, that's 6 points. They lose 3, you gain 3, that's 6 points. You win the title. So you have to beat them.
Yeah, but
you have to.
That's true. But at the same time, you're better off winning the smaller teams.
But it's easier said than done. It's gonna happen.
It is easier said than done, but it's better because then you have more control. Because
technically, it's better to actually beat them because it's a 6 point sway.
Yeah, I hear that, but at the same time, if they're really, really good and you can't beat them, then you have to just accept it.
Well, if they're really, really good,
I hear that. I think I'm with that because Man City are so good. And obviously, in their game against Liverpool, Man City should have beat them with the penalty at the last minute. That Liverpool went home glorious in that. We were there. They were glorious. They're happy that they need because they got what they didn't get.
But then they have to go away.
Yeah.
And
if they can get a draw away,
if they can get a draw away, then it's
that's
even.
Success. That's success for Liverpool.
Because you've nullified each other.
Yeah.
But and then
that's the point I'm trying to make. If you beat the lesser teams, and then they slip up because there'll be times when a lesser team will turn up and you're just going to hope that they turn up again.
That's not the mindset of champions. You don't pray and hope that a team slip up. You go there and you beat them, man.
But also,
you're missing the point of what I'm saying, man. There's nothing to do with mindset of
but listen,
you won't have to.
But listen, never ever in the history of football has everyone beat every single small team in their league.
No, but that's the point
never
I'm trying to
happened.
say.
As easy as the league is for Bayern Munich, they don't do it. As easy as the league is for PSG, they don't do it. It never ever in the history of football has everyone beat the so-called small teams in the league.
If you beat as many small teams as possible, that will more likely win you the title than if you beat.
Well, it's not
5
because
other top
because
teams.
Man City is more likely to win more of them than you are because they're better. You have to beat them. You have to.
You have to. But I'm trying to say, if you beat all the top 6 and lose all the small teams, then what the hell are you gonna win? Tell me what you're gonna win.
I think the aim has to be, as we said before, aim has to be to beat all the small teams, to not lose away, and to do your best to beat the big 6 at home in terms of the top 6. But
so go unbeaten.
I mean, if you can, if you can win every game, you can win every game. You can win a game, but it's obviously not realistic. Yeah. What we talking Spurs or we're gonna let them slide?
But to be fair, it's their best start to the Premier League.
Exactly, it's their best ever start.
And the way they're
fifth.
Wait. They didn't know when they're the top.
They do have a 20 Premier League goal scorer striker.
They beat Manchester City
on
tomorrow. They beat Manchester City on Monday. They're 2 points off the top. They're very close to the top.
But they're gonna get wrapped.
I guess with Spurs, no one's expecting them to win the title, innit? So
the pressure's
no
off.
one's going to have a title.
The pressure's off. They have no pressure.
Yeah, there's no
barring Spurs fans.
Barring Spurs fans, and like
they just want
the false pressure that we put on them.
They just want a trophy.
Yeah, we put on pressure to say, but you
surely you should be.
Yeah, you got Kane. You're gonna lose your players if you don't X, Y, Z. But in reality, no one expects anything. And I don't know if it's just a sad indictment on the club itself or just reality. Everyone can't be the best. Someone's going to have to be 5th and someone's going to have to be 6th.
Spurs are coming from nowhere as well. Spurs will feel that top 4 will be a success again this year because there's a consistency.
100%.
There's a consistency of last year or years gone by where they're consistently finishing in the top 4. I mean, what does that mean in long term when you still get slapped up in the Champions League and just barely qualify if they do? I don't know, but that's the criticism Arsenal had when they were finishing in the top 4. But then Arsenal came from winning Premier League titles and kind of gone down, where Spurs are coming up from being in Europa League, UEFA Cup to now consistently being in the top 4. So, and obviously new stadium, their expectations can't be any higher than top 4, a title challenge at a push.
Yeah, then Spurs.
A little less said about them, the better, I guess.
They'll finish above Man United for sure.
We will see about that.